Hey friends, at Thanksgiving I took some video at my parents' home where I was raised from the age of 3 till I got married at age 21, and I just think that my parents are amazing, and I wanted to share with you where I come from, and you'll immediately see why I have a love of antiques and all things vintage, country, ancient, homey, comforting, all that. I had this idea to video and record all their house when I was in the back of the house. And here's my mom and daddy's bedroom. It has been in this furniture arrangement since the day they moved in, I'm pretty sure. And I feel sure that they've never had any other furniture besides this beautiful French country set that I love so much, that is just as much a part of my being as anything could be. Now, I'm sure you're seeing all these instruments laying around everywhere. Well, those are things that my daddy has made. He is a master woodworker, cabinet maker, and can make anything from furniture to kitchen cabinets to birdhouses to fine instruments, beautiful instruments. And he has lots of instruments that he collects. And because he loves his bedroom and likes to lie there in his bed and watch TV, he got himself a TV. And look at all those pretty little cedar boxes with drawers in them. And I videoed this because I'd never seen it before. This is a new addition. I'm pretty sure my mom is not loving the aesthetic of that, but that's exactly like my daddy to have something just as quirky as that up in the middle of her pretty decor. That's a family portrait of my mother's aunt. Now look here at my mother, that she had her drawing sketched when they were in Paris. My daddy was in the Air National Guard full time, and he traveled a lot and was assigned to a lot of different places, and my mother went with him sometimes. Now, this room here is the room that all the little girls, you'll have to excuse the baby seats and diaper bags and all that, because when our big old family comes over, the stuff gets put everywhere. But look at my mother's beautiful collections of all sorts of things, and I guarantee you she could tell you a tale about every single object that she has collected and has grouped together and displayed. Pretty sure those are actual relatives in that oval picture frame. I should ask who they are because I can't remember in this very moment. But she has such a way of arranging her things and just making such a warm and inviting place. And she did not know I was videoing this stuff. I mercifully did not tell her I was, because she would have quickly tried to come and do some straightening up. Now look at all these family pictures. That blue matted oval, that's me and my siblings left to right. Oh, how sweet. And my mother there, her senior portrait, and my daddy's as well. Oh, they were babies, weren't they? But I love that my mother is so neat with her collections. She has lots of things, but she displays them in such a way that it just invites you to look and be very interested and wonder where it came from. And like I said, I promise you, she can tell you where things came from. She has things arranged in such a way that she can enjoy them and that they are beautiful to look at. And here is the doll collection. These are dolls from the 1940s, 30s, 40s, probably some older than that, she could tell you. But she began collecting these dolls. They're called composite dolls. And she was looking for her baby doll, a doll like her baby doll from her childhood, and has never found the exact one yet. And she says she would definitely know it. She would recognize its face. Now, I have no idea what these books are, but I am certain her little hands have touched every page of every book. And my granddaughters love to come in this room and adopt a baby for the day. They love to come in and pick one out. Supposedly the ones that are within their reach are okay to be held for a little while. You know, not super rough stuff, but just a little bit of stuff. And we're swinging back around to some of those beautiful clocks. Aren't they pretty? Aren't they pretty? And that chest that my mother refinished when I was in high school, I believe she did that. And in that chest are very important things like her wedding dress, her braids that were cut off when she was maybe 12. I'm not sure how old she was when those braids were cut off, but they're blonde and they're long and they're amazing. Now this room is just as delightful as the ones before. She has so much to look at, and I could just look at it for hours. Sometimes it's therapy to me just to come to my mother's house and just sit and look at her things. Now she's a forever quilter, so you're going to see a ton of quilts. And look at that print she has above her bed. No wonder I loved the print I recently found with a bird on it. I think it's the exact print that this one is right here. Somewhere in the recesses of my brain, I probably knew that. Oh, look, there's me and my 3 siblings. We had that picture made as a surprise. Of course, I was too young to have done it. My older sisters planned for all that and gave that to them. We went to Olin Mills, whereas where anybody went to get a good picture, you know, you had to go to Olin Mills. I love that big yellow piece there. I think she got that in Albertville. And forevermore with the rugs on top of the carpet, and her carpet will still be good. When everybody else's carpet's worn out, her carpet's still going to be great because she puts the little rugs in the high traffic spots. There's just some collections. Those are the actual encyclopedias that I used. You know, the days before computers, that was our computer. We looked at stuff like that. Okay, now here's all the grandchildren. Some need to be updated. And look at my mom and daddy on their wedding day. And so cute, my daddy with a guitar, naturally. And I'm pretty one of my mother as well. My sister Lisa had these done. She is a graphics artist and is very good at things like this. Well, I'm just seeing that these are just all baby people pictures of all the grandchildren. So okay, she just got us all stuck in time there, and I love it that way. Now that's the foyer looking back toward the hallway, and I think she's had these as long as she's had me, maybe longer. They're pretty, aren't they? And when I come into this room's got a lot of people and grandbabies and such. Aren't they precious? More family photos. I love that. And just pretty fancy things that she has collected and could very well tell you where they came from and whose they were and where she was when she found them. And there's my mom and daddy, looks like in the 80s. Nice. They're cute. Oh, and some family snapshots from another decade for sure. And look, I had to reach out and touch this. This is live. This smart gal, my mama, has grown that ivy topiary for real. I have a fake one because I kill things. I didn't inherit any kind of green thumb. She did have birds in that at one time, but they made a lot of mess, and I think she decided that when they passed away, that would be all of the birds. And there's my son-in-law. I told him to carry on, that I would not include audio from my videoing. Now, she had that couch in a different fabric when we first moved into this house. This house has the old-timey formal living room and a den, which is what we called the 2 spaces. And my daddy made that big secretary. Isn't it pretty? And I'm not sure where she might have found that other beautiful piece. But there's an old Victrola, which I feel like does work. And look at the baby shoes. That's my mama and my daddy when they were babies. Look how sweet, precious. That's probably their own baby shoes. It's just like her to have those and to have kept them safe all these years. I tell y'all, I want to be like her when I grow up. Hadn't arrived there yet, but that's what I'd like to do. That's what I would like to achieve one day, is just to be like my sweet, beautiful mother. Favor put his little dudes up on the piano. That's adorable. And here we are in the den where the fireplace is. It used to be an actual wood-burning fireplace. Then there was a buck stove, and now there's, I think that might be electric. They've had gas logs in there too. And oh, there's my granddaughter and my brother-in-law with his grandbaby. And there's my husband. And look at these beautiful wine bottles. Those are old Pottery type wine bottles up there. I think she got those. I think there's Madeline, my sweet little great niece. I think she got those in Germany. Okay, so at this point, we have prayed and we are about to eat. Those bar stools, we ate our family meals at those bar stools, and I feel like the phrase, get up to the bar, is a phrase that I didn't realize till I was grown that not everybody said at mealtime. Up to the bar. But that's where we ate our regular everyday meals. Not at the formal dining room table, but at the bar between the den and the kitchen. Now there's I just can't tell you how much stuff there is to look at. I mean, you may have to pause this video to take it all in, because I couldn't begin to give enough descriptions. I know a lot of those mantle clocks came from Germany while he was there. Look at all the cookie jars up there. That's amazing. Hey, Margaret. Hey, beautiful girl. I didn't remember including that, but I'm so glad I did. She must have been talking to me. Well, through the swinging doors is what I grew up calling the Tilty Room, which is, my mother's utility sewing laundry room. And I didn't get any footage of that. Next time I'll have to show it. And I have slowed this down because there's just so much to narrate, so much to point out. That brick column in the middle of the house, it has the oven on the other side of it. This house was built in 1970 when I was 3 years old, and I remember my earliest memories. That's an electric fireplace. But look at the churn and the huge big wine jug and more churns. You just feel like you're in an antique shop in the Smoky Mountains. You surely do. And I think I'm about to take us out to what they call the antique room. The whole house is an antique house, I'm telling you. But they enclosed the double garage and put French doors in many years ago. Now look, the beadboard on the ceiling. That is from one of my daddy's relatives' homes that was being torn down, and my daddy went and got as much of the beadboard out as he could, and he had enough to do the ceiling of this room, and I just think it's gorgeous. Now, it defies explanation. All these collections, they are the result of a lifetime of flea markets and yard sales and scavenger hunts that they have been going on, and inheriting lovely things from those who have gone on before them. The French doors look out onto the front of my mom and daddy's house, the driveway there. Okay, so Ben is playing with Margaret Ann in here. Oh, he's showing her the marbles. I think he let her have a marble. I don't know what possessed him to let her have a marble. She's rolling it across the floor, I see. I do believe that got put back where it was supposed to. But, oh, can you see in the middle of this room, my mother has a huge what do you call this thing? A quilting machine? I mean, she rolls huge entire quilts onto it, and the big stitching head can go over the whole thing, and there's her big workspace. Now, look at that big cabinet back there. Do y'all know what that is? I just need to explain that right quick. My daddy's daddy was postmaster at Gallant for many, many years, and that is the original mail sorting cabinet desk that was in the original post office at Gallant. And when they rebuilt the post office, my daddy was able to procure that. And it's so interesting. It has all of the family names of the people who lived at Gallant still attached to the edges of those cubbies. Now there's pottery galore, Hoosier cabinets, cupboards, and look at that gorgeous stove. And she has lots and lots of vintage food, spice, and medicine bottles and containers in the original labels. I mean, you could just stand and look at this stuff and not see it all. It would take hours to look at everything. It's like going to a museum. It really is. It's a magical place. I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing. Look at the match tins over there on the wall. And all the sifters. And all the stuff. Some of those things were her mother's. Look, now every one of those little clear bottles up there has a little handle on it. They're all the same type. I need to ask her about that. What was the driving goal of collecting all those? She'll have a story. I promise she will. Look at that old broom. My. My daddy made that little jelly cupboard there, that little cabinet. And because this used to be a garage, it has this platform that connected the two doors. Now there is a garage to the left. And look at the Coke can openers. And depression glass. So many beautiful pieces of depression glass. And all the marbles. She has not yet lost her marbles. I couldn't help myself, y'all. That was hilarious to me. Okay, and I know she crocheted that Afghan that's hanging over the door of that quilt cupboard. And my daddy made all the shelving and all the corbel bracket things. And here we go again. What's he doing? Oh, Ben noticed that my mother had these colorful clips that she uses in her quilt making, and he just pinned as many onto Margaret as he could and sent her to find her Meemaw and show her what she had attached to her just for a laugh. But I was too busy recording. I don't know how that story ended. I'll have to ask Margaret, because I guarantee you she'll know. Oh, she's so funny. Funny girl. Ben, crazy man. Now, look at that pretty mandolin up there. That's just precious. And I see a nutcracker, and I see vintage Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse. Some sock monkey dolls. And I guess those are planers, woodworking planers up there, and other woodworking tools. And some old lanterns. Greetings, Easter. I think that she did not change that up for Christmas, did she? Or Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving. Look at the old wooden phone. I think that's authentic. I don't think that's a reproduction. I think that's truly a really one of those. And with the books. She loves books. I love books. Now buttons. Button. Who has the button? She has the buttons. And look at that gorgeous lamp hanging there. Tons of buttons. Beautiful green things that are truly alive and growing. Oh, she even has a button lamp. Oh, for the love. And you can see the driveway's full of all our family's cars. Now let's see what else we're going to see on these shelves here. I see wooden spools with the thread still on. I see little tiny wooden chairs. I see big spools of thread on top there. Oh my dear. My goodness. My daddy and my mother have just, you know, they're 84. They'll be 85 in the spring. This is a lifetime of collecting unique and beautiful things, mementos. And I so love that she has them out. Hey, there's some more monkeys. So I love that she has them out so that we can all enjoy looking at the things that she's collected. He has two. My daddy has two. He loves it too. But my mother is responsible for the displays and the arrangement of all these beautiful things. Just so interesting. Just so interesting. I wish I could remember the story behind the piano. I think there is a story about whose piano that is or where they found it, but it escapes me. I don't know. I need to go get a refresher on some of the backstory on these things. Look at all those old music books. My goodness gracious, gracious goodness. And mixed in with all the very old 100-year-old items. But look at the oil lamp collection. My goodness, I hope she's got enough lamp oil for all those if, you know, the apocalypse comes. I've always said I'm heading to my mother's house because we could survive a very long time on all the food that she has put away. She knows how to put all kinds of food away. Look at that. Now that door there goes out to the garage. It used to just go out to the backyard, but now a double garage has been built onto the back. So that's where that goes. Oh, I should have showed you how my mother has carpet in the garage. I'm not kidding. She drives into the garage on top of an old big piece of carpet. Look at that beautiful set of furniture there. That couch and love seat. You couldn't see it, the other piece, but she has both pieces. And all the bowls. Yeah, my mother drives up onto the carpet because she doesn't like for it to be messy and track anything into the house from the vehicle. So yeah, who does that? My mother, my smart little mother. I love that cabinet. So pretty. And all the crockery. Beautiful crockery. Just forever more things to look at, things to explore. I think this room was built, how long ago? Maybe about the time that I got married. I don't think this room was built when I was a teenager. I think she did it after I got married. And if I was having babies, no wonder I hardly remember the constructing of this, because I was busy surviving, having had my first 3 children in 32 months, for heaven's sake. Who does that? This girl right here does it. We're getting a little bit of a closer look at the post office desk. Well, that's my daddy's sheet music rolled in there. Actually, I need to clarify, music that he has written. My daddy loves bluegrass music and gospel music, and he has written many, many, many songs. And I love to hear him play. He's just adorable. Now my daddy made that china cabinet, and it has my mother's Desert Rose Franciscan ware in there. I think that's what I'm seeing. Hard to tell on the glare. That's so pretty. Can you see out onto the back porch? You'll see it later. And those are the swinging doors into the Tilty Room, utility room. And her tin collection on this butcher block. My daddy made the butcher block as well. And she's been collecting those tins for a long time. Ooh, what a pretty kitchen set, canister set. And I love all the old cookie jars. I'm going to try to be quiet in a couple of these next scenes so that you can just hear what kind of ruckus is usually going on when we get together.
When I die, hallelujah, by 15. Ooh, that's lots of cars. 16. Oh. 17.
Margaret had just said to my mother, Meemaw, I'm glad you're here. At Meemaw's house. Yeah, sweet.
We're not getting that. Yeah, really, it's not my fault. So, yeah, I look like I set those lemons right now.
Are you gonna come back again sometime to see us?
Anyway,
Would you want, when it's not cold, would you want to ride in the little train again, that little cars that Pat made and Meemaw fell out of out there in the yard and went tumbling down the hill? We'd like to do that again. Would you like to ride that little train? Oh, I would too. And we could do some other things. We could walk in the woods. Did you ever walk in the woods? Oh, you go to the park?
Yeah, so we've absolutely done that.
Here's the back patio and back covered porch. And they've just put in that tornado shelter. You know, Alabama, North Alabama, we get a lot of tornadoes, so I'm glad that they have that now. That dining room set was her original table and chairs that I grew up with, but now it's on the porch. And she has lots of good places for us to fellowship when it's not freezing cold. It was pretty cold on this Friday after Thanksgiving. She has lots of pretty things. And I was unfortunately having to charge my phone, and I was tethered by my phone cord, so I couldn't get all the way around there to show everything. But now I'm looking back into the house. You can see all the way across the bar into the kitchen, and my daddy laid the rock. Did he lay the rock on that? I think he did, but I can't remember, because that happened when I was maybe like 8 years old. It wasn't original to the house. And this back area used to just be an open big deck, and then they built the cover over it. Look at the barn back there. I spent many of my childhood days playing in the loft of that barn. And I'm gonna walk out in just a minute. I'll show you more of their backyard area. That little cabin my daddy built, and it is full of antiques as well. That'll have to be an upcoming video. But the little cabin was started, it was built by my brother. The original section of it was deeper in the woods. Now that's looking out. Look at that view. See, I grew up in this valley. And the old-timey name for Gallant in this area is Greasy Cove. Because in the 1800s there was a man who was able to render bear grease, and he did it so well that people came from far and wide to purchase bear grease or to trade with him. So hence the name Greasy Cove. But you know, Gallant sounds a little better than Greasy Cove. But this is where I grew up, and I love it. Thanks for taking that walk down memory lane with me, and I'm glad, just for my own purposes, to see all of the beautiful things in my mother's house. And there's more I could record. Maybe I'll have a episode 2 coming soon. Stay tuned for that.